Hello YouTube. I wasn't gonna do a video, but I feel like I just have to do this because it's such a common topic and it was heavy on my mind, so I was like, why not just talk about it? So today I wanted to talk about mental health amongst black women in relationships, because a lot of things that is done is not normal. And I wanted to do four steps or 4 ways you know if your friend is cool. And by no means is this meant to offend anybody, even if, the person I know, if she sees this, whatever, I don't care. I just feel like this is a topic that needs to be discussed, and I hope that slowly but surely that people will take heed to it and really start to pay attention and take care of their mental health. And ungodly soul ties are real. You may not think it is, but anytime when you start to act out of character, that's the devil trying to take over, and I'm gonna get into that. But first I wanted to talk about Brandy. Shout out to her, all my millennials out there. On June 9th, 1998, Never Say Never album came out. Her album Yesterday, 25 years old. Yes. Woo, Brandy. Oh, I remember getting that album. I'll never forget it. So I was begging my father for the Spice Girls CD. I love the Spice Girls. So we get to the store, me and my mom, and she's like, Crystal, you have so much of Spice Girls. You got the movie, you got the poster, you got the dolls. I had the fake cell phone. I had the lollipops. Like, I had everything of Spice Girls. And I knew all their songs because of the movie. And it always played on the radio and stuff. And Spice Girls, they were really, really popular. They were like the Michael Jackson back then. They really were. They were really, really, like, if I'm not mistaken, that was around the same time that Michael Jackson came out with the Dangerous album. Around there, I think he was on tour like around 96, 97, and the Spice Girls beat him. Like, the Spice Girls, it was neck on neck. It was like Tupac, Biggie, Michael Jackson, and Spice Girls. And Aaliyah was really famous back then too. But another person that was super famous was Brandy. And I remember being in the store with my mom, and my mom was like, get the Brandy CD. Now, I wasn't really a Brandy fan, but I was like, okay, let me check it out. I get home, and from that day until now, I fell in love. I remember listening to the CD over and over and over again. I knew every line, every lyric, like, I knew every word, there's a lot of albums I've listened to, but I don't know all the lyrics. That album is the one album I know all the songs. I know line for line every lyric. I know all, like, from top to bottom, I know that whole album. That and My Life, like, those are my 2 favorite R&B albums. So big ups to her. For me, Brandy, that's the only album that did it for me. It's like after Never Say Never, she literally started to flop. I don't know what happened. Then after she had her daughter, that's when things went downhill. Not saying it was her daughter's fault, but she just kind of fell off. And then but that Never Say Never album was the best. So happy 25th anniversary. Everybody knows The Boy Is Mine. Even songs that didn't make the hit list, like Angel in Disguise. That's, if you're a true Brandy fan and you had the album, Angel in Disguise would be your favorite. Like, that's the first song on the album. It's the intro, and then it goes into Angel in Disguise, and then Boy Is Mine. Like, they put the songs basically in the order of events, I feel like. And then there's a happy song, because every relationship you're gonna have happy moments. So put that on everything. Have you ever loved somebody so much it makes you cry? Put that on everything is one of my favorites. I feel like Put That on Everything and Angel in Disguise. Like, a lot of her hits, I love all her hits, but that's what they are, they're hits. But the songs that really resonate and I just can't help but to love, put that on everything. Like, the lyrics are so good. I'll walk to you through the desert years, I'll climb the mountain's highest peak, swim around the deepest sea. Angel in Disguise, she basically talks about, her boyfriend was lying, because the album is about her ex-boyfriend from Boyz II Men, right? So an Angel in Disguise, and basically you can visualize it. She's like, I found it quite strange the way you said her name and the way you looked in her eyes. I seen the lust you can't deny. It's more than this than what you said, because when you were asleep, you called her name. You said that she's just a friend. I knew right then because the rain began. So it's basically talking about her boyfriend that lied and said that this girl that he was messing with was just a friend, when she knew that it was more than that. And so it goes into the second song is The Boy Is Mine. So it's like her and Rodney, because Rodney was the producer, I believe. It just was, yeah. So speaking of The Boy Is Mine, I just needed to talk about this to all my black women specifically, because I don't hear of any other race of women that like chase men. I really don't. I personally don't chase a man, and it's because I was taught not to. And I think that's what the problem lies, is a lot of people was not raised right. Like, my parents have their flaws, but my mom, big ups to my mom, she always taught me, never man see you sweat, never let a man see you cry, and never let a man see you just be sad and stuff, because what's gonna happen is they'll take it and they'll use it against you. They will. It's sad, but it's true. So like, there were times my mom would cry and stuff over my dad, but my dad never knew about it until even recently. I would say as recent as 5 years ago, I told my dad, I was like, mom used to cry over you, and he was like in denial, like, she ain't cry over me. And I'm like, my mom did such a good job in not showing that side, because as a woman, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to let them think that they have one up on you, So it's nothing wrong with crying or being hurt, but when you show that side, that's when it gets worse, So I think that's so important. And I wanted to talk about Mita in Love and Hip Hop. Season 10, I was looking for it, and I found it on YouTube. I paid $10. And the season is so good. And I wanted to talk about being delusional, because Erica Mena, she's married to Safari and everything, and she got a divorce. So there's a sugar factory in Vegas that they all went to. And so her and Mita get into a conversation, and Erica Mena's like, you were the side bitch. Like, And Mita's like, I was never a side bitch. And it's like, you were. Like, it's my whole thing with Mita is like, you made a mistake, you're human. But don't try to come on TV trying to deny your position. Like, clearly you were when he was with Kendra since 2015. And he's married to Kendra, right? So whether you agree with it or not, he's with Kendra. So that means that when he was with her and she was the girlfriend, you were the side chick. Nobody knew about you, so you were the side chick. Like, I don't understand why she don't just admit it. Like, just own up to it. Like, okay, we all make mistakes, But I wanted to talk about that because if you're not honest about certain things, it's gonna drive you mad. It really would. You have people who stalk people's page. You have men who stalk people's page. And that will never make sense to me. I had an ex of mine, and I could truly say he was like my first real boyfriend, what I would consider a real relationship, because we were committed. However, he used to lie about stuff, and I don't like that. So this is like my ex from 2017. I never really talked about him because him and I didn't really have any drama. He just had hygiene issues and he didn't do anything about it. And then he lied about stuff. So combination of that, and then I just lost attraction. So I'm like, I can't. Like my son, he was also the first man I let my son around, you know, because we were serious, we were committed and everything like that. And I had a crush on him from teenage years. We actually went to church together. So the people that we went to church with, it was in the neighborhood. Like all of us lived in East New York, right? So this church that we went to was in the neighborhood. So it was this girl that he used to talk about, and he said how she was ugly and she was a whore during high school, and she used to suck everybody off. And I said, are you mad that she didn't suck you off? Because I was confused as to one thing about me. If you're a man and you start talking negatively about another woman, I automatically know two things. You want her, and you're trying to hide something about her that you don't want me to know. So, like, that's one thing about my father. Like, he taught me, like, my big ups to my father and my mother. They always taught me how to think. So from very young, even teenage age, and of course now I'm a grown adult, I taught myself to listen to a man. If you want to know anything, just listen to him, because men are not that bright. People in general are not that bright. They will tell on themselves without even realize that they're telling on themselves. So when he was sitting there talking about this girl, how she's so ugly and stuff, something inside of me said, go check her page, Crystal. Go check her page. So I go check her page, and what do I see? I didn't have to look for his name. It said his name. Each and every picture that she had, he loved all her pictures. This is Facebook now. Liked all her pictures and put heart emojis under the comments. And I asked him about it. I said, you said that this girl is ugly, she this, she... Why are you stalking her page? Because to be honest, even, you know, being in love and just even in a relationship, even though I was with him and stuff like that, I never would sit there and like all his pictures. Like I'm not like that with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for you to sit there, and he used to joke and say, oh, I'm a creep, I'm a creep, I'm a creep, as a joke. And then I find out for myself he really is, because I just couldn't understand, like, you said that you feel like she ugly, which to me she's not. And I said that. I said, she not ugly, she just short and dark skinned. That's ugly to you, but I'm sure somebody will like it, you know, whatever. But he was like, yeah, I don't like big girls, I don't like short girls. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? Like, it was just weird. Like, I'm your girlfriend, and he was just going in on her. And I just knew that it was just a cover-up. Like, it was just trying to throw me off, right? So then when I confronted him, he's like, oh, I'm a delete my Facebook. I said, Facebook is not the problem, it's you. Like, you sat there and said that she was ugly, but then when I looked on her page, heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji. I said, yo, you're not even thinking, like, what if she got a man? Like, if I was her man and I see that, I'm gonna be like, yo, like, I might inbox you, like, yo, why you on my lady's page? Like, why is it heart emoji, heart emoji, heart? Like, you just liking everything she puts up. What's going on? Like, you know. So, and you have people that do that. They'll follow people that they don't like. They'll tell their friends and family, hey, can you follow this person because I want to know such a... Listen, if you find yourself doing that, check yourself out and go see a shrink. I'm making up. This is a public service announcement. If you are ever compelled to go that far, it's time to see a shrink. It really is. you know, and we're all human, right? We're all human. We all want to know things, but guess what? One thing I know, you don't gotta be looking for nothing. It'll come to you. It'll come to you when you least expect it. And also, if you think he's doing something, ladies, he is doing it. So stop driving yourself crazy. Stop driving yourself crazy, because he's not driving himself crazy. He's not, up at 3 in the morning talking to his friend about you. He's not up early in the morning, 6, 8 o'clock in the morning. He's not thinking about you. And it's like, that's one thing about me. Even when I was with the dude or not with the dude, in love, in like, whatever, I've never been in a position where I'm like, ooh, like, no. And I wanted to talk about acrimony. Acrimony, that's just a very sad movie. It's really, really sad, because she was up all night stalking their social media, and it's so common. You're stalking their social media and they're living their life. And what happened? She tried killing him and killed herself. And Tyler Perry is a genius for the ending part. It's genius. Like, there's a rumor going around saying Tyler Perry don't write everything, but if he wrote it, didn't write it, the ending is so powerful. Because even if you, and I would talk to my ladies, if you are in any, because I get it could happen, it could totally happen, but if you are in that state where you feel like you need to watch somebody or whatever, stop and think, do he care? Does he care? Probably not. You got to give somebody the same energy that they're giving you. If you see something on Instagram, and I can say this from experience, if you see something on Instagram, move on. I don't care if he's blowing up your phone. I don't care if he wants to take you to dinner. Guess what? Go out to dinner and tell him bye. Close the door on his face. And I can say that because I've done it recently. Take the dinner, eat the food, and go home. Don't continue. And even then, do that. Don't do that all the time. Move on with your life, because these men don't care, and they'll go as far as to say, oh, it's a joke. It's a joke? Interesting. And you take that and you move on, and that's that. Like, don't be like with Acrimony. That movie was so sad, because she was a beautiful working woman, and instead of moving on with her life, she lost her life chasing him, chasing a man that wasn't worth it, chasing a man that cheated on you when y'all was dating. He turns around and marries that same girl, and you lose your life chasing a man that never cared in the first place. He never cared. Like, a lot of people have different perspectives from that movie, but from my perspective, he was a user. He knew that she would stick around, and the first opportunity he had to get with somebody else, he took it, because he's a user. That's what men like that's what they do. If she wasn't a working woman, he wouldn't have been with her. But because she's a working woman and supporting him, he was like, okay. He got with the next chick, and instead of her moving on and being happy, she's stalking them on Facebook. She's, and in the end, lost her life. You don't want to lose yourself chasing a man. And Taraji P. Henson and Acrimony, I mean, that's powerful. I mean, I feel like every person needs to sit and watch that, because it can happen to anybody. A lot of people, I admit, I do judge people because I don't get it. It's like, but it's the way I was raised, just like, remember in the previous video I talked about Kiara Coles. Her mother approved of her being the side chick. My last situation that I went through, and I don't know when I'm going to talk about it fully. I feel like I need to be in a new relationship to talk about that. But I was so embarrassed. My parents don't know about that. Like, my parents are like the Obamas. You know what I'm saying? Like they can we poor, but they the king and the queen and I'm the princess. So I would never present garbage to my parents. Like my parents are very, very religious and they have high morals. So I can't just say, oh yeah, this is who I'm dealing with. Like what? Like my father's crazy. He will go and kill him, first of all, just for like for real. Like my father is about that life. Like he fights. He will fight you. He fought my son's father physically and won. Like my father is really, he an OG. I used to be scared of him. I ain't scared of him no more. But like my father don't play. My mom don't play. So I don't understand how so many people, like, you know, you think about the meters and you think of how, you know, where's your friends and family? Then with Kendra now, her mom knows about Jock making a baby. And the mother's on the show just quiet and not, like, what? I would be so petrified in telling my parents about if I was dealing with a Jock. Like, what? This man has 4 baby mamas and you date him. I can't feel sorry for you because you knew he had 4 baby mamas. You knew that it was an end. I can speak on it because I've been there, done that. You know, I've never taken, no matter how good a guy no matter how good a guy looks, it's crazy to me. You know, just like in my book of poems, one of the poems is called I Was the Girl Who Said No. And I think I spoke about it in a previous video about 2 years ago. No, last summer. And basically, I had a crush on this guy from college. And he got 2 girls pregnant at the same time. When he told me that, I knew to stay away. And we remained platonic friends. Like, I'm not going to just... And I have feelings for him. Like, I really was feeling him. So I totally get it. I totally get it, ladies. But when a man tells you he has 4 baby mamas and you still date him and then you go as far as to marry him, I can't feel sorry for you because you knew what type of man he was. Like, you knew what he came with. So you think he's going to be faithful to you when he wasn't faithful to none of his kids' moms that he lived with and had, you know what I mean? Like, one of them being his wife. You knew that he was cheating on his previous wife with Mita. I can't feel sorry for you. I can't. Like, you gotta have common sense. You have to have sense. And sometimes people don't know how to decipher the two. They so in love that they lose all senses. You know, like Mita showed her the receipts out her bra and Kendra still didn't believe it. But yeah, I just wanted to make that public service announcement. If you feel the need to stalk anybody or look at anybody's Facebook or anything like that, please seek help. Like, it's serious. Acrimony is a movie, but it's real. This is real stuff. Kiara Coles is dead right now from making poor decisions. Her mother didn't even tell her, hey, you know, whatever. You know, like I said in a previous video, you know, at times I felt like my parents didn't give me guidance, but the guidance that they did give me was to have a standard, to not be desperate, to not, you know, and my mother always said, your father came to me. Your father proposed to me. I didn't trap him with no baby or anything like that. Like with me, I wasn't born till 5 years after my parents got married. My mother did not trap him. She didn't trick him. She didn't do none of that. She didn't have to do none of that, you know. And she really taught me how to be, when it comes to a man, to be ladylike. Like, you can't be sweating him and all of that stuff. And, you know, that's a turn off. You know, imagine somebody do that with you. You wouldn't like it. You know, it's hard. Sometimes, you know, whatever, but yeah, that's my PSA announcement. Have some damn dignity with yourself. And those are my thoughts.